What's up YouTube, Webbers5 here, coming at today with a tournament report from my last tournament. So before we get into it, just want to give a shout out to my new subs, SLR and Kirby Taco. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, guys. You're the reason my channel's growing stronger. And also guys, before I get into the report on the tournament, just want to say this video is going to be a little different because I'm making this a bit more interesting. I'm going to be giving my tournament report while simultaneously playing on the Nintendo Switch game SMITE in a PvP match. Just thought it might be a bit more interesting than just talking about the tournament. So currently just in the loading screen while I do the introduction bit. And so in my most recent tournament that I had at my locals, we had an 11-man event, so it was 4 rounds. I ended up 3rd place, going 3-1 with Endymion, with a new engine under using set rotation, because I thought it was a pretty decent idea back during when was it? Orca's format. So, and now it's kind of in the position that the format's kind of back into that again. So, giving it a try now. Okay, match has started. Let's go. Grab that. And yeah, that. Okay, so starting up. So my round 1 match, that was against my friend Jude, who was playing Despia Albaz. So I don't actually have any experience playing against Despia Albaz, so that was a new experience. Let's just give a quick readings. Have fun. Yep. So Despia Albaz, that was quite interesting. Turns out the deck does actually quite a lot since I wasn't really prepared for it. I was very much debating side decking Dimensional Barrier because I thought there'd be a lot of Albaz with the structure deck, but during the first tournament that I had after Albaz became a thing, literally no one was playing it, so I actually ended up not putting Dimensional Barrier into my deck. And so, for the same reason, I thought, you know what, nobody's going to be using it. And guess what? People were using it, so I didn't have the Dimensional Barrier, which was annoying. Okay. And so, basically how the match went against my friend Jude was, it ended up going 2-1 in the end. So game 1 was essentially a bit of a grind, trying to figure out what exactly the deck's supposed to do. Additionally, I lost the die roll, so that kind of was a big factor as well. So went to a bit of a grind until eventually I just ended up losing that one. And then went to the side deck, game 2, I opted for the strategy of set rotation. I was able to hit into set rotation, or it might have been terraforming. It was one of the two. Basically, I ended up just going Secret Village against the deck, and then that basically did it. Secret Village against Albaz. He couldn't play spells, so I was fine. Right. And then what happened next? Oh yeah, game 3. So Game 3, that was really annoying in a game 3 that I had against it. So, naturally, Jude was going to go first because he's not going to let Endymion set up going first. And, very irritatingly, Jude opened double Cosmic Cyclone, which essentially took out both my scales, and then I had absolutely no follow-up. Which was so annoying. And then from there, basically, with my scales locked out, naturally, there's not a lot I can do, so I proceeded to just, you know, lose that game. Which was upsetting, but such is the way of the game. Then, died. So going into round 2, because we were an odd number of people, somebody did get the bye, and because I lost my match, that put me down in the second game. And subsequently, I got the bye in round 2, so didn't actually play anyone, but because I was also running it, I had my laptop with me, so I used the time to start a bit of playmat design as well, which was pretty good, which was fun. Yeah, let's grab that. So yeah, just did a bit of playmat design as well through that. I've decided to start on a design based on Power of the Elements for the upcoming Neo set. I did one for Dimension Force. I haven't had it printed because I've got quite a lot of playmats at the moment. Didn't really feel like doing another one. And you moved. Die. running. Ah, Thanatos. Annoying. Oh yes. So yeah, ended up doing some player design during round 2, and since naturally as the judge I was running the event as well, so I was just keeping an eye on everything as well. Got to do a small bit of scoping, see what everyone was playing, which is always pretty useful for planning out my strategies for further. And so yeah, not really much to say during round 2, but it's a bye, which technically counts as a free win. So, and because of how things work at my locals, you get prize support is you get 1 booster pack equal to your win, and since a bye counts as a win, it's just a free pack, which is good. I technically didn't actually take any packs from this tournament since there's nothing in current sets that I'm after, and Dimension Force is coming out this week and there's stuff from that, so my locals was okay for me holding off on my prize support to wait for Dimension Force. So yeah, and then moving. So then, like I said, didn't do much in round 2, so I'll just talk about round 3. Round 3, that was against my friend Noah, who was playing a form of Branded using Eldritch, which was quite interesting. So, I think as I recall, I think I won the die roll on that one, and essentially, my strategy was quite simple. I knew Noah had picked up Branded recently, so I opted for going first for a... I tried to go into I think I opened a terraforming, so I was able to do a secret village against him, set up a basic board, and since he couldn't play through the secret village, he just scooped and went to the next game. And game two decided for going second, since it were like, I think I saw a tiny bit of Eldritch in the first game, so I did side some back row hate. I put in Cosmic Cyclone and what was the other card I put in? Bell. And so yeah, went first. He opened a very heavy Eldritch hand, and I opened a set rotation, so I just went for the easy play, did a set rotation, put Secret Village on his side and put Necro Valley on mine, activated the Necro Valley, and that's... well, yeah, that's basically all she wrote for that game. Oh, kill. Nice. So yeah, set rotation into the Necro Valley and just basically swifted it from there. And then what happened after that? Oh yeah, after that, round 4. Round 4 was against my friend Yugioh, who was playing a form of Drytron. Now, Drytron's one of those... now, I know Drytron's a ritual-based deck, so I knew what I was doing. So I pretty much knew what to do. Basically, it was very straightforward for me. Game 1, I basically... since, like I said, I knew he was playing Drytron, so put him under a secret village, and he scooped. And it's very much fun when people just... when I can know people's strategy, and I just go secret village, and they're like, okay, yeah, I'm done. Scoop. Secret Village scoops, always fun. Game 2, surprisingly, Game 2, Yugioh sided my build for going second. Wasn't really completely sure what I was supposed to be siding, but I just kind of went, you know, you just kind of go for it. And what else? So after the siding, so he made a very average kind of board. I think I belled one of his things so he couldn't advance too much further. Went on to my turn. I started building my board, and he Nibiru's me once I dropped the Selene with no negates on the field, so I just lost my board. And then subsequently the next turn, since he was able to set up, I lost the game. And then more side decking, went into game 3. And game 3 started as a bit of back, and game 3 I was a bit worried because game 3 I was a bit worried. Anyway, let me think. Oh no, I went second on game 3. So anyway, I lost game 1. But sorry guys, I'm losing track of when I'm. Because I remember getting Nibiru against him, which is why I lost there. But I feel that was. Yeah, that was probably it. Sorry guys. Game 3, I opted to go. I think game 3, it was like we were getting close to time. So I opted to actually go second to try and deal some damage in. And Yugioh, turn 1, decides to... Well, still naturally he's using Drytron, but I didn't know that he had the DPE engine in there, so turn 1 he drops the DPE against me straight up, and I'm like, okay, that's a bit of a concern. However, the thing is, when Yugioh was cutting my deck, you know how sometimes when you cut someone's deck, the card that's on the bottom just sticks to the mat, and then so the easy thing of what people do is like, yeah, just put that card on top. Yeah, the card he put on top of my deck was my Instant Fusion, which essentially is the only reason I was able to get around that board. So open with the Instant Fusion, naturally straight up dropped into the Millennium Eyes to protect myself from the DPE. But I need to think, okay, I'm protected from the DPE, however, he's still probably going to try and attempt to bait me out with it. But conveniently I also opened, what was it? Magician's Souls. So with Magician's Souls, naturally, so Magician's Souls, I knew with that option I had the availability to go into a new card I was playing in my deck, Relinquished Anima, just because it's very useful in certain situations, and I'm glad I put it in just for that glorious reason that Yugioh decided to put DP in front of an extra monster zone. So, naturally used that, baited out DP's effect, then from there went into my usual play, and pretty much went to my usual play, went to battle, did some damage, didn't quite finish him off, and then I think it was after that turn, because I didn't have any spell negates, he hit me with a Dark Ruler and took out my board he took out my board. Don't remember how he did it, but I just remember my board getting wiped out in that turn. And I think then it was a bit of back and forth for a bit afterwards. I essentially tried turning things around by going into the Dark I turned things around by going into the Dark Chop. Oh wait, I remember how he got rid of my board. He summoned a Nightmare Unicorn and spun my monster away. And so from there, so you did the Nightmare Unicorn. I opted for the play of, because I think I still had the availability of a Jackal King on my field, so I went for Jackal King. So I did Jackal King, took out the Nightmare Unicorn, and life points were going pretty much back and forth. I had the monster availability. I went into the Dark Charmer, and I kind of forgot about the DP in his graveyard, but I know that's a bit of a risk, so I opted for summon Dark Charmer, res his Griffin, and then I smack for damage, and then at that point I was summon back the Unicorn so I can easily go into an Access Code Talker. Didn't actually need to go into the Access Code Talker. I didn't think I'd have enough time for it, so I just went for the damage with Jackal King, Dark, and Unicorn, and then just left it there. By that point, time on the round got called, and I was ahead in life points. So yeah, overall finished on a score of 3-1, which I'm pretty pleased with, given how my tournaments haven't been going that great, but I have been finding it very difficult being able to concentrate on both. Yeah, judging and playing hasn't necessarily been easy. That's why I haven't been recording my matches recently, guys. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with it. But so far, I think I'm trying to get back into my groove, get back into playing. I've been enjoying. Sorry guys. I'm finding this I thought this might be a very interesting video in doing this of trying to give a tournament report while playing a game. I didn't think it would be this difficult, but it is. But hey, I thought it would at least be entertaining if I did so. Oh, shit. Yeah, hoping you guys are at least enjoying this. So yeah, overall I thought the tournament went really well. I'm looking forward to the next one. Should be a bit more interesting because the next tournament we'll have Dimension Force is going to be Dimension Force will be legal, so interested to see how that's going to shape up the format. I don't think it's going to change too much. Like, I'm not entirely sure what a lot of the new stuff does yet, because I haven't really looked too into it, but that should be interesting to see. Interesting to see how the new stuff shapes up the format. But yeah, overall it was a good tournament, and I'm glad that I'm now kind of getting back to the stage of enjoying myself a bit more when I'm playing. Because the past few tournaments, they were a bit of a bust when I played Counter Fairies. I played Counter Fairies in one of my tournaments just because I felt like doing something a bit different, and I absolutely tanked. I went X4 with Counter Fairies, which was very upsetting. And then the tournament after that, I tried playing, it was Endymion, but I don't remember what kind of variant I was going with, but I didn't do very well with it either. It put me a bit discouraged from that, and so kind of went on to a bit of a trying to figure out what I need to do. So yeah, it took a bit of a break to figure things out, but now I'm pretty much back to where I need to be. Happy with things. I'll be interested to see what kind of changes I make with Dimension Force. I'm definitely planning to pick up Beyond the Pendulum and maybe a couple of Pendulum Graph Dragon for my odd eyes. Maybe Endymion. I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't figured things out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this small tournament report and also my reactions of me playing Smite. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.